Today we are going to compare William Bonac's best ever version from the 2017 Mr. Olympia against Hadi Choopan's best version from the 2024 Arnold Classic. William Bonac and Hadi Choopan are some of my favorite bodybuilders, so it's very hard for me to choose between them. And since my top 20 bodybuilders list is quickly coming to an end, I decided to break this one down into a full comparison, and the stakes are actually pretty high for this one. The truth is, for how good these guys are, they're both extremely underrated. Both guys are fighting with each other and others for a top 10 placing on the final list. I don't think many people realize just how good these two guys and a lot of other modern guys are with their best versions. So today I'm giving myself and my guest Xavier Willis from Desktop Bodybuilding 20 minutes over 2 rounds of judging to determine who wins, peak Bonac or peak Hadi. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Remember, if you guys like these types of videos, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more. Xavier Willis.
That's not my name.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Ron Chi, and today we're going to be comparing one of these two physiques you see on screen here. Now, Xavier is very fond of one of them. He does like them a bit darker, but we're not going to be comparing that guy. We're going to be comparing the real winner of this show, the 2024 Arnold Classic champion, Hadi Choopan, right? To another similarly dark fellow, William Bonac, prime William Bonac, a prime specimen in and of itself, but we're going to be using a prime version today. So Xavier and I recently had a little scuffle, you could say. Not as bad as the Samson versus, or just being a top 10 physique. Not as bad as this one. This one I wasn't willing to die on the hill for. This one I'll at least do a comparison for. I said something along the lines of William Bonac as a top 10 physique, and he probably beats Hadi's best version, but it'd be closer. Again, I wasn't willing to die on this hill as much as I was the Samson one. But you said, no, I think Hadi edges Bonac out a little bit and also beats him in our video. So we're going to continue our top 20 bodybuilder series. And in this one, we're comparing best version versus best version. Do you think, let me just ask from the top, do you think William Bonac and Hadi Choopan, with their best versions, are top 10 physiques of all time?
Both of them?
Yes. Or either of them, and tell us which one.
I would lean to say Hadi is, maybe Bonac isn't, but I would need to see it broken down. I need the 10 physiques in front of me. I need to see them. I need to touch them.
Right. You usually have 10 physiques in front of you, to be fair.
Yeah, at all times. At all times.
At all times. And I don't really know if your girlfriend, Saley Magar, knows about this. But we'll see.
Oh, she loves that name too. Saley Magar.
Yeah, she loves her name because it's her name. What?
Do you know, it's not very good like business acumen, but she actually gave me a $20 super chat the other night. And I said, thanks to Saley Magar, as Dylan would say, and she hated it.
I don't let my women have opinions. But anyway, let's go ahead and break down the scorecards here. I made you a special one again. You like that? You like that deep blue?
I can't see it.
Oh, yeah. You like that deep blue?
I do like that deep blue.
Okay.
I like my blues deep.
Right. So we're going to have this entire comparison will be 20 minutes besides our final thought section. We're going to break this down into 2 rounds. As you see, we have the 8 mandatory physiques, 8 mandatory poses right here. And then the overall physique categories, we'll have 15 minutes for the 8 mandatory poses, 5 minutes for the overall physique categories. We're going to break down the poses and pictures first and then provide some video later on. Some great video evidence. And then, yeah, we'll use our same 2, 3, 4 point system, as Xavier knows. You do know, right?
I do know.
Okay.
2 is a close win for
right.
competitors. 3 is he's winning it convincingly somewhat, and 4 is he's wiping him. This is his worst
no
pose.
opposition.
He's ever did his best posed. Yeah.
And even a lot of the times, I'm really reluctant to use 4-point wins because I just don't think that's applicable in bodybuilding. I think it's always actually very close. Most of the time, even if it's not, if we can't say close, we can say it's comparable. So unless like someone completely falls out and someone's really good, I usually don't do 4-point wins. I should start calling them no opposition wins, because that's really what I mean. That means there's no opposition and the winner is just steamrolling. But anyway, great matchup we have today. I put this together closer than I thought. Maybe Hadi and Bonac aren't top 10. Maybe they both are. Maybe one is over the other. Anyway,
Let's get into it.
There's only one way to find out, and that's kissing them on the lips. Okay, 15 minutes on the clock. Xavier, do you need anything?
We need to be in the same country, I think.
Oh, tell me more about this country of yours.
My country.
Yeah, your country.
Anyway,
Okay.
let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into your country. Anyway, 15 minutes on the clock. You can have the first pose. 3, 2, who do you have?
Look, I've got to say the early years of Bonac, I think, were better than the ladies in terms of structure and stuff on this pose especially. So I would say I'd have Hadi on this one, although I do not mind Bonac's front double.
Right.
Back in the days of yesteryear, as we've talked
Right,
about.
the waist is just thick. There's no stomach. There's no anything. It's not as good as Hadi's, but I mean, like, he's making do with what he has, most certainly.
Yeah, I'd lean in the ways of like 2 to 3 pointer. I would say 3.
Okay, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
No, this is a very, like, when you put Hadi in the Olympia lineup now, I don't think the front double is one of Bonac's stronger poses, although like I've said, and I say it all the time, when I saw Bonac in person, he just like blew me away. Just that like bubbliness and roundness just like pops. But I think this version of Hadi was pretty special. I'd say in a regular year of Hadi, I'd say he'd win by 2, but in this one, I'd say by 3.
You think the structure does that much for you, huh?
It does. The small waist, the lats, like, I think the waist was much smaller this year, and he was still like,
Right.
seemed just as big, you know?
Look, the arms are better on Bonac. The lats are thick. The legs are very good, you know? Hadi has the more like thin skin, but Bonac's legs in real life would certainly be bigger. I get it. The waist just, he has a squashed physique, a very short torso, So in a thicker waist. Look, I'm not giving Bonac this pose, but I can't do anything more to Hadi than 2 points because there's a lot of substance there on Bonac. Maybe a little too much. He's overdeveloped for that waist with the waistline. It's the whole physique is thick. In some poses that'll help, in others it won't. In this one, take it or leave it. You're going 3 with Hadi. I'm going 2. Yeah, that's
I can get an argument for either. So I think one of us having 2 and one having 3 is good.
We can have some good debate on the front lat spread. What do you think?
See, this one's so tough for me to judge Hadi because I think his delts were calmer this year because in previous years, like there's 1 or 2 Olympias where his delts are like popping off a bit. But at the same time, even though his delts pop up a bit, I still think it's a pretty strong pose. He doesn't have like the same forearms and whatnot, which I think sort of completes it a little bit, like like a Bonac. But it's tough. Like, yeah, there's the legs of Bonac. Even though I'd probably lean to say Hadi's are better because of the hardness, maybe, but I think Bonac in person, those legs would look just as good or close to it.
I would agree. I didn't want to say that because I know people that just see the picture comparison are like, you're retarded. You don't know what do you see? Look right in front of you. I think with the same proper lighting, the same camera, I think they look a lot more conditioned than they do here. We'll turn them around and see like the true condition of both of these guys. But they're round. They're round.
Yeah.
And not as asymmetrical.
The round and pop, that's true. The round and pop to Bonac's physique when you see it moving, it just doesn't look real. It's almost like, I reckon, what Tony O'Burton would look like in person. You'd be like, whoa,
if he was good.
Happening? Tony O'Burton is good. He's going to do very well.
Yeah, Tony O'Burton is good. Anyway, you were saying this earlier about, you said the forearms kind of complete the pose. This is a problem I've always had with Hadi's rear lat spread, especially as time's going on. The triceps.
Front lat spread.
Front lat spread, excuse me. Front lat spread. The triceps are kind of receding. The forearms have never been that good. Even the calves, I know like no one really cares about calves, but just like the overall peripherals of the physique just seem like really vague. They're just not that impressive. Like Bonac takes everything but the overall structure, and the legs are, a toss up in real life. I'd give him to Hadi here, but I mean like chest, arms, delts, a lot more thick, a lot more bubbly, a lot more detailed on Bonac. And the lats are pretty good too. I mean, that structure isn't the best, and the shadows kind of hide that, but the lats are there. They're thick, they're good. Now, Hadi is wider. Do they taper as cleanly? I don't think so. I think he kind of has a little bit of the palm tree look. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing because there's a lot of lat exposure there. I'll still give this to Hadi on the structure, but do you think it'd be outlandish to give Bonac this pose? He just looks like a ball. This is the only thing I have written down in my notes. Ball of muscle.
Yeah, that's what he is, like, in this pose, like, because he's not, you know what, I think I still have to give it to Hadi.
Right.
But in my mind, I was thinking 3 points, but now seeing it, I feel like 2 would be appropriate.
And that really does go to show that Bonac was outworking his structure. He was, I don't know if you remember this at the time, he was the heir to the throne for Phil Heath for a brief moment of time, especially after this show.
Yeah.
Because he just placed third to Phil, and everyone was like, well, if Rami doesn't ever crack his conditioning, Bonac is just like a smaller Phil with the roundness, with the bubbliness, with the separation. And you can see that in the side chest. Oh boy. Do I cream over this pose some nights?
Okay. I don't need to know, but okay.
The chest is Ronnie-esque. You have these, like, from the pec origin, the insertion right here, there's striations going like all these different ways, and they follow the angle of the actual pecs. The only time I've ever seen that on somebody else was Ronnie. That particular look of striations. I think Hadi looks pretty good. I like him standing up straight. It's an all around clean, solid look. There's some issues, mainly the delts. I don't really like those, but I think Bonac is winning pretty much everywhere, just by a little bit. Peakier bicep. The delts are real. Chest is better. Even the side leg separation is deeper. I'm going to go with Bonac on 2 points, but can you talk me into 3? Or are you just with 2?
No, I can't talk you into 3 on this one because
you talked me into a lot of other things over the years.
Yeah, no, right? This is a very good side chest by Hadi as well. I would give it to Bonac, but by 2. Just because this side chest on Hadi, when you look at it, the legs from the waist down, they look very dry. They're very balanced. Like, I'd say when you just look at the muscle and the more the structure of a silhouette, you're like, oh, Hadi easily in the silhouette. But then you actually look at the density through the chest, the shoulders, and just that different look that I think would just pop like crazy in person. I'd probably just give it to Bonac, but
okay, bro. Look, you can get lost in those milkers. Hadi has this kind of flat chest. He always has. This has always been one of his weaker shots. He doesn't have too many like weak ones. Like his weak ones are just like average. That's Hadi's strength. But I mean, Bonac is thick. On the short list for like a top 10, top 15 best side chests of all time. And I'm being conservative.
Yeah, I know. I think you're being conservative too. I agree.
Okay, but only just 2 points. Get out of here. Now, here's a pose where you got to come around on a 3-point margin. Bonac has one of the top 10.
To Bonac?
Yes.
No.
Okay, tell me one area Hadi beats Bonac in.
I mean, the structure of the pose. Look at the legs from the back. Like, I will say, look, why is this photo of Hadi in 360p?
Because if it was from the video, you would be begging me not to make it 4 points for Bonac. It made his back look really washed out.
Okay, so I'm looking at this pose. I mean, yeah, Bonac is crazy dense and bubbly, but like the taper of the waist to the lats, I just don't know what would look better in person. It's so hard to tell.
Okay, I'll tell you. Look. I get Hadi has a nice quad width from the rear. But he's turning more out than Bonac as well. Bonac has crazy quad sweeps from the front. And you weren't giving him the front poses. And look at the glutes, more striated on Bonac. Hamstrings about the same. Look at the lower lats and back region. Are you kidding me? One has one doesn't. And then yeah, sure, Hadi has this nice wide structure, but where's the stuff? Where's the detail? Where's the thickness? I mean, he has some, He has some, but I mean, like, I would argue that even Samson beats him in this pose nowadays. Samson is not beating Bonac in this shot. And those
But
arms and
Samson
delts,
has a very good back double now. I think it's
he does.
actually
He does.
underrated.
Mm,
You know, Phil Heath, when he first started to improve his back, it's like he wasn't getting the credit straight away, and then he won an Olympia, and everyone's like, "Oh, his back's outrageous." I'm like, the last contest it was still pretty good, but no one was really giving him the credit yet, because it was like that. Everyone's like, "Phil has a weak back. Phil has a weak back. He's narrow. He's narrow." But then, yeah, it sort of changed. I feel like that's the same thing for Samson.
So what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
I'm trying to find a video of Hadi in his contest, to be honest. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm trying to fit my narrative.
You're such okay. You are such an idiot.
Okay, thank you. Hadi, Gilco.
Okay, here you go. Here you go.
Okay, yeah, show me this. I will judge fairly too. I will not.
Xavier. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I give it to Hadi because I just want
no.
see
I meant
conditioning in the back.
Yeah, no, okay, but like take a look at Hadi here versus what we see here, or versus Bonac. Now that you've
no, I didn't mean I'm giving it to Hadi. I mean I'm giving it to Bonac. I'll give him 3.
By 3 points.
Yep. Because I know what Bonac's back double looks like in person.
I'm glad I talked you into it. We have to move on though. Rear last spread. This, the curious case of Hadi. I'd give it back to him. Only just.
I'm thinking Hadi, man.
Oh yeah, he wins it. Are you going 3? Don't tell me you're going 3 points.
I don't know yet.
You better figure it out. There's a little over 4 left because you wasted time talking about Phil's back shots and his back poses.
Okay, I forgot about the time limit. I'm giving it to Hadi. The structure.
He wins. I think pretty clearly. Like his rear last spread is underrated.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm just trying to think by how many points because I know Bonac looks crazy. It's like 2 or 3, but I don't know.
I would do 2 because I think Bonac's really 3D and thick. I mean, the flying squirrel lats, as I've coined the term, apparently. Yeah, I mean, they insert that as glutes. It's very impressive. It's just it doesn't have the width. It just does not have the width.
Yeah, I think it's impressive enough, and it's going to look bubbly enough for it to actually not be that big of a win to Hadi. But I think Hadi wins it just on pure mass.
Okay, now we have the side try. I have a pretty simple explanation for this. Hadi, but only really just because of the abs. I like almost everything else on Bonac, even down to the execution. I guess the pecs I like a little more on Hadi for detail, but the fuller on Bonac. He's more massive, more separated in the tricep. It's just the midsection. That's it. That's it for me.
Yeah, and Bonac has to do that thing where he leans back a little as well just to sort of get into the pose properly because of... I don't think he'd be able to keep his waist in if he was like in the angle that Hadi was in, if that makes sense. But just because his torso's shorter. But he does look very thick and very bubbly and very round, but I've got to give it to Hadi by... Oh, shit.
Oh, come on. It is not more than 2 points.
Yeah, I'll say... Nah, man. Oh, shit. See, this photo, I'm saying 3. But I'm trying to think of what it would look like in person. Dude,
Hadi only clearly wins one thing, and that's the midsection. William still keeps it tight.
The side leg?
Not convincingly.
But he still wins it, though.
Maybe slightly. Maybe slightly. I still don't think that constitutes a full 3-point win.
The midsection, the execution of a pose, and how he brings his rear delt around. Because it is about the execution of a pose. Because I
like Bonac's execution. It's grown on me like a fungus.
Look, I don't mind that execution too much. I think it's his best form of execution of his pose, but I mean, I feel like you're like...
You best decide, boy.
I'm going to say Hadi by 3.
Retarded. Okay. Well, I think we can skip here. I won't. I
was about to say,
I'm giving it to Hadi 3 only because Bonac has some good quads and calves. But it's not the execution. I could really go 4, and I think I'm being generous. But I mean, are you going all the way with 4?
Look, I could do 4.
Minute 15 left.
4 to Hadi.
Okay, we'll unpack that later. Now we have the most muscular. I gotta be honest.
2 versions. It's very
Well,
close.
if I brought up Hadi's crab, he would have been getting smoked by even more. Here, I didn't think it would be this. I know like his one version is so solid, but hands clasped to hands clasped, I mean, look at Bonac. And then the crab, I think because he wins both variations, to me, it probably it's like a 2.5 point win. I can go 3. I got it. You went 4 on the last one. I think I have every right to go 3 here, but what do you think?
I think Hardy's most muscular is one of his best poses, but it's definitely Bonac's best pose. So I'm giving
Right.
it to Bonac by 2. Only because, like, if it wasn't Hardy's one of his best poses, I think there's some a little bit of receding on Hardy's triceps.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's why I give it to Bonac without thinking about it too much. But I think the shreddedness of Hardy and the completeness of a pose, apart from a little bit on triceps maybe and around the elbows, I'd say yeah. And Bonac has, I think side by side, Bonac has
That's
the
fine.
roundness.
And yeah, the roundness. That's why I'm going to go ahead because I have him winning both variations, the hands clasp one being very close. I decided to go 3. But that's all for this round of judging. We have a video to get to now, Xavier, and our video that we're going to make together. Well, Xavier, now we've gone to the second round of judging the overall physique categories, the 4 of which are muscularity, condition, flaws, and shape. So we're still using the same 2-3 points, 2-3-4 point system, but on this round we do allow ties because I think overall it can get a lot closer. Anyway, 5 minutes on the clock this time. You're gonna take it away again. We can watch the video as many times as you want in this 5 minutes, but you can just take it away with whatever category you want to discuss. Anyway, 5 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'm going to kick it off with flaws because I feel like that's the easiest one to do for me and
Delts.
that fits my narrative. I know I was going to say that. I was going to say the delts in Hardy is the major flaw for him. Maybe a little bit you'd say like a flaw, if you want to class it as a flaw, is like that lower back and overall back conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I think he's very flawless. I'd say overall there's more structural flaws in Bonac's physique.
You can count those in shape.
You can, but then what are you counting? You know, so
Because look, you got to account for everything. I'm going to count Bonac's shape against him for sure, but I got to account for those delts.
Yeah. What do you think of, like, I don't mind them whatsoever, but some people have said about Bonac's biceps and things like that, and they're like, oh, they have to be shot up. I'm like, is that muscle, like 100%, or is like, because he has very unique looking arms and everything.
Yeah, but it's
it
because they're
doesn't,
some of the best of all time.
yeah, because it doesn't look bad, you know what I mean? It's not
Right.
like they're like soft looking. I'm like, I don't know how he would have done it if, yeah, I suppose like deep in the muscle, a lot of guys do
Right.
it, but
There's some
they're very
striations in
different
there.
looking.
I thought I saw some striations throughout this comparison. I don't know. But they had a hard look to them. The skin was up against the muscle and it didn't look rubbery or watery or anything.
Yeah, so if he has done it, I don't actually even care, to be honest, because
Right.
to me it looks good.
He can do it to my cock for all I care.
Nice.
Lord knows I need help.
But I will say, I'm like, when we talk about flaws, like you can say that's in shape as well, but just I'd say there's some structural flaws in terms of like,
Man, if only there was a whole category for that.
well, I feel like you're rewriting it. I
No.
don't know, because if you say
No,
how many
no.
flaws a guy has, are we just talking when we talk flaws?
Okay,
Like, what,
do
like
the flaws fall
gyno?
under the shape category, a category already present? Because the flaws is something special. A lot of the times I leave it blank because some guys don't have blemishes on their physique. It's extra things that fall outside of that. Like you can't Hadi's delts on a muscularity issue. They're not a shape issue. They're just a flaw. It's just a weird thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, so flaws.
I mean,
is only
look
really for,
look
like,
at here.
gyno torn muscles.
Right. Look at this. His medial delt extends almost to the brachialis over here. How does that happen?
His medial delt always, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know. Obviously, he has stuff in his shoulders. Bonac's not immune to having some stuff in his shoulders either. Not as bad, obviously, in this version, though.
Right.
However,
I'm giving Bonac the flaws category by 2 points. I'm not like a delt hater. I'm not the most, like when things are like that, when I don't think it's synthol, I'm a little more lenient on it because it's just the gears got to go somewhere, right? And that's exactly
Yeah.
like Hadi didn't slap on some clay in his delts. I don't think he needed to do that. But
no.
after 40 or 30 years in the sport, because he has been competing for a while, it just has to go somewhere.
his delts aren't as bad in this contest too. Like he definitely
That
stopped
too.
using that as a site, So in terms of flaws,
Okay, we have less than 2 minutes left because you wanted to talk
okay,
about his delts. You're an idiot.
I'm going to say Bonac wins it by 2 then.
Okay. What do you think about shape?
Shape, I think that shape-wise, I think Hadi by a minimum of 3.
I'll go 3 if you're going 3.
I'll go 3.
Just because I want to over-represent. Well, you know what? Actually, fuck you, Xavier. I'm going to go by 2. Because you know why? You know why?
Why?
People cry. They bitch and moan about, oh, Bonac has a wider waist. Yeah, last time I checked, this was open bodybuilding. You don't go to the circus to see a work of art.
We're talking about shape. That's like saying, like, oh, well, Marcus Rule versus, let's say, Bob Paris. And we're talking like...
It's not that. Both of these guys aren't necessarily aesthetic. They're not Chris Bumsteads. They're not Frank Zanes. Like, we're still talking about open physiques here.
Yeah, I know, but there has to be some sort of open physiques that would garner a 4-point win. Now, I'm not saying it's a 4-point win, but I think
if Chris Bumstead's open version was against Bonac, it'd be a 4-point win.
I'd say Hadi has an underrated shape.
Okay, what do you think condition wise on this matchup?
Ooh, I don't. Ooh. This one's very close for me. I think it's actually underratedly close because I think a lot of people would say that Hadi, hands down, conditioning king
from the front, maybe.
Yeah, but Bonac really pulls it in from the back. I might still give the edge to Hadi, like Hadi 2. But
okay, I went with the tie.
Oh, you can do a tie?
Yeah,
I'll go tie.
I said that. Okay, and then muscularity. I'm giving the slight edge to Bonac for overall completeness, and all I need is a score from you because you wasted all of our time. So no more explanation. You only get a score.
Muscularity, you're giving Bonac
by 2 for overall completeness. Yes.
Hadi by 2.
Okay, you're an idiot. You're a fool. You're a fool. You're a fake and a fraud. This is why Paul Dillette stopped doing business with you.
Okay? I've never done business with Paul Dillette ever in my life.
That's not what I've heard. But anyway, man, let's tally up these scores because this debate is, I would say, far from over. What do you think of this broad, specifically when she's in feminine attire? Not this part.
Did not now.
Xavier.
I don't like the short hair.
What?
She's trying a lot, you know what I mean? To look not there.
Right.
She looks like Shaun White. Nah, because I'm not. I don't think I'm attracted to redheads or short hair.
Well, she dyes her hair quite frequently. But yeah, I found the Project Bodybuilding account and their recommended reels, they get some zesty things.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, whoever runs that account is crazy. But you don't think this girl's attractive? Girl, I use it slightly. It does say bad gal.
I mean, attractive for what? Like if that's
okay. Well, no one is starting a family with this individual.
Yeah, I mean, could I go there if I was single? Then sure. But
interesting.
Not if I'm not hanging out with her.
I feel like we would vibe. People wouldn't think this on the surface. Do you think me and this lady would have a nice chat?
Yes.
Really? You think so? Because I think so too.
I agree. Yep.
And why do you think that? Because we're both weird, sexually perverted?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Well, I just wanted your opinion. Like I said, look, just homo enough. So here we have my scorecard. Now, what I didn't expect is Bonac only winning 3 poses.
Well, you gave the scores, so...
Hey, I don't disagree because now what would I give to Bonac? I mean, with the shape, I don't think he can win either. Maybe we can argue the front lat spread, but I think that's a losing argument. I couldn't really change anything on this list. In fact, I think I was more lenient on Bonac than you were with Hadi's margins. So Hadi did win 5 poses, but like I stand by the front double and front lat spread just being close because like if you have a thicker waist, to me, it's acceptable and somewhat. It's a lot worse than a gut. Like if you had a small waist and a gut, that's a lot worse than a thick waist and a locked in midsection. Would you agree?
I don't
Like
know which way
Dennis
you
Wolf.
said it around
No,
then, but
like
what I'm
Dennis
saying
Wolf.
is, I know
Sometimes
what
he
you're
had a
saying.
gut, but he had a small waist comparatively because he had these great quad sweeps and wide lats. But if I would take Bonac's tighter midsection, even though it's thicker, over a year where Dennis Wolf is like bloated out of his mind.
I would too.
Okay, we're on the same page. But with that said, I only gave Hadi 2 points in shape, and I know we didn't really get to discuss this, so a little pushback here. Look, Hadi certainly has better shape. I would give Samson a 3-point win over Bonac because you were kind of asking like where I stand. I would give Samson. I could still give Hadi a 3-point win. Samson or Andrew would get 3 points probably more easily for me. And then, like I said, if we put Open Sebum up here, then that would be like a 4-point win.
I prefer with your scale to to use my fours a little more
Yeah, that's why you
haphazardly.
get some like just brain dead results.
Yeah, well, my scale is a little different because I feel like otherwise you're just mostly just 2 and 3 all the time with all these matchups. So
Right.
I'd like
That's
to have the
that's kind of
four
the
as an
point.
option.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
you do mostly fours anyway. So let's see here. Then muscularity. You said in a bit I cut out, but we'll talk about it now. You were surprised I gave this to Bonac. And then you were like, I don't know why you gave that. This is said off camera. I don't know why you gave that to Bonac. Hadi has a bigger back. And I said, bigger? I mean, it's wider, sure, in the front last spread, in the rear last spread, it's wider. But I mean, like pure back development, pound for pound, Bonac is better.
I mean, what do we define muscularity as? Because they have
I
like the
take a
most
look at three main
muscular award.
pillars.
Okay.
Completeness, that's a part of muscularity. You can't have lacking body parts. Pound for pound muscularity, and then overall, just how big, like Samson and Bonac is just as muscular pound for pound, but overall, Samson's a lot bigger. So you kind of have to account for both of those things.
Yeah,
Here,
no.
I think Bonac pound for pound can't be beat by that many people. Even Hadi, I think Bonac still takes a slight edge there, and I give him a slight edge in completeness. That's a narrow win for me.
Yeah, it's tough because I feel like Bonac's more bunched up with the muscle, if that makes sense. Like,
Compact.
yeah, more compacted, which gives I think the illusion of more muscularity. But Hardy's is a bit more spread out, if you know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like, look
by
at
the
the
true
shoulder.
definition of the word, Bonac is more muscular relative to his frame. He has
But
less
his
frame
muscularity
and more muscle
solely.
on that.
Let me look up the definition of muscularity at this late
I
stage.
don't think you'll find it. For bodybuilding, it's just, like how big is he for the frame?
Yeah.
But there is an overall element, so I count that too.
Yeah, I try to count all factors as well, which always leaves me like pretty close with some guys. But like
I
someone like
would
Branch Warren, you're like
I
very
would
muscular.
say it's tie to Bonac lean more often than not.
Here it says in bodybuilding, muscularity refers to achieving high levels of muscle mass, low body fat, and overall aesthetic symmetry.
Okay, well, you asked ChatGPT, which is going to give you like the most generic answer.
No, that's
No,
the Google
you're on
one.
Google.
I just yeah, awful, awful. But yeah,
I saw you use ChatGPT because you're still sharing your screen with me from earlier. You said ChatGPT, can you please take all of Dylan's clothes off?
yeah, no, I did do that.
Well,
yeah, yeah, that's me.
that's hot. I'm glad you're thinking about me. But like I said, muscularity is like Bonac. It's either a tie or a Bonac lean. I would have been fine with a tie, but I'm not quite as comfortable giving that tie break to Hadi over Bonac. You seem to be the opposite. Let's take a look at your scorecard. Very heavy-handed. Very heavy-handed. And we flipped winners, by the way. But you had Hadi winning by a lot more than I had Bonac winning, which is crazy. That's crazy to me. But
you had Bonac winning? You had Bonac winning overall?
Yes.
That's crazy to me.
Okay, now listen. It's a 60-40 split. Are you saying 2/3 of the time Hadi wins over Bonac? That's insane.
I don't think that's
I
how
don't
your
even want to say. I
scorecards
don't even
work
want to
out.
say Bonac wins 60 out of 100 times. I think that rounding up, my score was 59.4. I think that might be a little heavy-handed, honestly.
I mean, on stage, who wins that? I think if they were head to head, like depends when we're talking. We talk about in their prime when we go head to
Yes,
head.
the two
Like,
versions we used today. Don't try to weasel yourself out
well,
of
I
this.
don't think you can say Hardy wins. 2 out of 3 times. Those two versions, I think Hardy wins 90% of the time.
Really?
In judges' eyes, yeah, because like you can win 90% of the time, but you're winning by X
Narrow
amount of
margins,
points.
right.
So it's
Okay.
like saying Hardy versus Samson from Matt Arnold. I think Hardy wins it 99 times out of 100 in judges' eyes, or 95 times out of 100.
Well, this was a lot closer than that. And not just 9%
No, I
closer.
agree. I agree. It's closer than that.
I mean, look at this bubbly, full, round version of. Oh, that gets me every time.
Yeah,
That
get
gets
your
me.
heart beating. I know that much.
Oh, it sure does. It sure does. But I mean, look, like I said in my notes, the only note I needed to take, ball of muscle.
Whoa, why did he transition quick there?
I think this is cut. This is cut.
Okay.
Like it's spliced together with other things.
Yeah.
Look at that back. And this is at the finals when I think he lost just a little bit of that fullness from prejudging, which I mean, it would probably be pretty hard to maintain even for someone like Bonac. But
That
did
most
you see
muscular
that?
is so impressive. Yeah.
Did you see that crab? For anyone that
Yeah.
says I made the wrong choice choosing choosing Bonac over Hadi, the most muscular, may I present the most musculars of William Bonac?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. That
Makes
is
me
phenomenal.
want to cream.
I know. I knew he was going to say that.
Well, I mean, it's the truth. Look at that. Look at
Okay.
I mean, it's a clean look.
No, it is. I agree.
That does not get beat. That does not get beat 90% of the time by almost
No, I
anyone.
didn't say 90% of the time. I didn't say 90%.
You should roll it back. Roll it back.
I said Hardy beat Samson 90% of the time. 95%.
Okay. If you say so. But okay, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna play back the 2024 Arnold Classic Top 2. Do you think Samson, this version of Samson, which I know was lackluster, let's just follow along here. Do you think this version of Samson beats the version of Bonac we use today?
Probably. It's a very. Well, this Hardy definitely does and did. This is the Arnold Classic Columbus, correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Maybe I can find the. Well,
Do you
I
know
don't
what's
want
funny? When I look at this, I always when I actually think about it, I always think Hardy was like so far advanced over Samson in this contest. It wasn't as much as I think in retrospect.
No, in
Samson was pretty
retrospect,
good
I
here.
kind of agree too. Like, I remember this. Like, even Tyler Mannion didn't even like really do a full breakdown. He did one where he's like, "I'm not even gonna go through all the poses. It's just not necessary." But like looking back on it, I mean, there's a reason it's a two-man call out. The only one that's going to compare is Hadi, but I mean, I think Samson compares well in some shots. But you know, you do get that pop belly. You do get that
Yeah.
lack of stomach control.
He had more of a midsection of his show, just that little bit, which just it threw off like his main strength. Like his strength is aesthetics, and then I think Hardy brought his waist in so much. Like that waist is so small on that front double there compared to the Olympia. It was just such a crazy improvement. I wonder how much we were sort of just glazed by the improvements of Hardy from the Olympia that we were like, whoa. I mean,
This
it
is
was
why you
Hardy's
always
best.
got to go back and look, because hindsight is certainly 2020, especially with bodybuilding. You can get so caught up. Like, we have people saying Urs is going to be top 10 at the Olympia because like he went to Open. That's insane. That's just downright retarded.
Top
But
6
anyway,
even, some saying apparently.
some out there have said he would maybe do top 6. If you think that, you're special ed. But anyway, so do you think, back to the question, Bonac versus this version of Samson? What do you think roughly your scores would be?
I think I would give it to Bonac because
so.
I don't think it would be as dramatic as you would think. Like the back double of Samson is not that bad, but when I go through the poses pose by pose, it's one of those things with Samson. When you put him side by side with people compared to like a comparison like this, I feel like he's always going to do better. If they're on the same stage, you know, you see the sheer structure of Samson when he walks out, sort of like
The sheer
whoa,
girth.
like, yeah, girthy guy, you know,
That's what I've heard from you.
long and girthy. But yeah, there's a few things on Samson's physique where you're like, oh, okay, he just missed it a little bit, so he does get beaten, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd have Hardy. Bonac.
Bonac beating that version of Samson. Well, here's that standalone version of Hadi. We saw the standalone version of Bonac. What are your thoughts about seeing these two isolated in better videos now?
That front double is so aesthetic. So you got to like look at Hadi different in his show because he brought a different level of aesthetics with that waist, and yeah, that just really impressed me. So yeah, I've got to say that while I'm more impressed with the muscularity, maybe like the hard conditioned bubbliness, I think I'd be more like wowed or freaked out by that somewhat of Hadi. I mean, of Bonac rather.
Okay.
I think I'd have Hadi still because it's just like those back double biceps, and when he moved through those variations, I'm like, yeah, it's very impressive sort of in motion. But I think the side tricep, I might have given, I think, Hadi a 3 on that.
3, yeah, 3. That was ridiculous.
Seeing the video now, you can tell that side tricep isn't as dense and thick in the video, but in the photo, I like it for a 3, you know? So I think that I would have it as a 2, but yeah, I had it as a 3.
Okay. Well, with that said, it's time to reveal our final scores. Are you ready for this?
Did you reveal them already or no?
Our final scores. You had Hadi winning 67-33. I had Bonac winning 59-40, or 50. Yeah, 59-40, pretty much. Okay. Don't worry.
7% different.
Okay, with the score of 53.8 to 46.2, the winner is Hadi Choopan. You know what? I like this score a lot better. I like this score better than both of ours alone.
Yeah, yours is, to me, I feel like yours is crazy. Bonac. Big win.
No, because look, he wins a lot of the time. And I would probably vote for him the majority of the time, but I think the overall panel would be voting for Hadi most of the time.
How about this? You had Hadi winning 5 out of 8 poses.
Right, but let's see. Let me try to explain this.
I think it's because you had Hadi on, Bonac on the floors and the muscularity.
Yeah, but I mean that seems like a pretty big change. Let me make sure I did them. Maybe did I not do the math right? Surely I did. Hold on.
No, Hadi won on your scorecards because he got 11.
No, he didn't. Let me check this.
Yes, he did. Hadi won by a point. He won by a point.
Yes. Hold on.
Yes.
42. I was about to say, like, the more I watched, I was like, how did this even make sense? Like, even looking at my scorecard, how did this make sense?
Yeah, because I was just thinking about it. I'm like, you must have had him, like, cleaning up in the conditioning. And when I looked at it, I'm like, no. So we both had Hadi winning.
Right. Hold on. Let me double check. Let me double check this.
Oh, I love this.
I mean, I like it. It's just so complicated.
Okay. Your system?
Okay, hold on. Let's fact check this in real time.
I can see it's you have Hadi winning because you got 3 to 5 in the second category, so a 2-point win to Bonac.
Well,
in
look,
the first lot, it's a 3-point win to Hadi.
People are automatically going to say, "Oh, look, he just picked his favorite and ran with it." The thing is, I live and die by the scoring system. I thought I had Bonac winning, but we're about to see if that's really the case. So here are Bonac's scores in the first category, and then in the, is that right? Oh, it's 62. Okay, yeah, 62.5. And then in the second category here. Okay. And then
the semester grade calculator comes out. The GPA.
And then this would be 37.5. And this would be Hadi's score. So yeah, he wins by like 2 points, 2 points ish, rounded. So let me fix that. Let me fix that. It's actually William Bonac 48.8 to Hadi Choopan 51.2.
And by unanimous decision.
And by a
Hadi
new
Choopan.
unanimous decision. Okay, well then let me. Okay, so 67 plus 51.2. 51.2 divided by
2.
the new score for Hadi, and we'll just get rid of that.
I think you liked your initial score, to be honest.
Yeah, I like that. Honestly, I don't like this one as much.
Yeah, no wonder you like the initial score. You're like, I like this a lot more.
No, because I think I would pick Bonac a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But, now that I say it, he just doesn't win as much. He doesn't hold up as well as I thought he would.
In the individual poses, but I do wonder Bonac as well in person. As much as I voted for Hadi and think he would win, you don't know unless they're side by side. Because when I just scan through it quickly, it's like you can sometimes be wowed in person and overlook some of the flaws. When I say like flaws, like shape flaws, maybe structural flaws that Bonac has. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, like it wouldn't shock me if it was crazy close. If these two were side by side, but I guess we'll never know.
Well, look, I saw the writing on the wall at some point in this. So, and then I got to thinking. Has Bonac ever beat Hadi? Maybe, and I'm not talking about 212. I'm sure they compete at the 212. But correct me if I'm wrong, Hadi has always beat Bonac.
Well, I think Bonac... No, Bonac did beat Hadi. He got seconded in Olympia.
Okay, yeah, and that's what I wanted to bring up. Hadi should have been first at that Olympia.
That was the one that Brandon Curry won?
Correct.
Was it?
Yes. I don't have any footage, but I do have pictures. I use these to size. So
I don't know about that. I feel like Hadi... I feel like, to be honest, I think Hadi should have won that.
That's what I meant.
Oh, I thought you said Bonac.
No. Bonac was way too downsized.
Yes, he was, because he had an injury. But if Bonac... In that Olympia, if Bonac was at his best, he would have won it. In my opinion.
Correct. Because I think him at his best
downsized.
beats 2018 Sean Roden. I've done this comparison between him and Sean Roden. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but 2017 Bonac versus 2018 Olympia, Sean Roden, do you have an opinion on that? What's your knee-jerk reaction?
Oh, my knee-jerk reaction is to say Sean Roden, but I think, honestly, Bonac might win that.
Right. Because, like, shape can matter, and Sean has the shape over Bonac. Most people do, but I just don't think... I think he has less of the goods than Hadi. Like, Hadi will be placing ahead of Sean Roden on the list. Would you concur?
This Hadi would be placing it... Yes.
Okay.
This version of Bonac does not beat Sean Roden, though.
I would agree. No, I don't even think it beat Hadi. I mean, look at this.
Yeah. This version of Hadi was not as good as Hadi got, that's for sure. Hadi got a lot better than this too.
Sometimes I think the 2019 version was his best. It was his most out there version. It was his most outlier, different version. But I mean, I really liked it. It's probably still my personal fave.
Because you look at his waist here, it looks wider than it was in that arm.
That's true. That's the only hang up I have. But he's a lot fuller here. Like, if you go back and look at the quad sweeps, let me pull this up. Like, just his front relaxed. Like, even at the 2024 Arnold Classic, when he did improve his quad sweeps and brought the waist in, like, it's never looked like this ever again. Like, that's insane.
I know what you're saying. It's a different look though, but
it's completely different than what he brought post this.
It's like he has thicker abs here, or something. I don't know what it is. It's like it's something different, or he has thicker like obliques or something in a way, but it looks clean, super clean.
It does. This is one of my favorite, even it's just the front relax, one of my favorite shots of recent years.
Yeah. Well, he has a bigger waist here, so obviously you're going to like it. You like them thick.
It's not even that bad. It's not even that bad. It's not even that bad. Okay. So, Xavier.
No, I'm just saying it's thicker, you know what I mean? Like, if the wider the waist,
blockier,
the more you can taste,
That's exactly what I live my life by. That's the motto I have.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a good most muscular. Okay, yeah, I gotta pull this up.
His waist looks too small on
Yeah, too small. I had to find the one with the blockiest waist. Like, look at those quad sweeps.
it. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, his legs were more proportionate and just jacked out. Like,
Right.
they're just like,
Like, it has to be some kind of like sight enhancement, just like done really well. It has to be because he's never looked like this again.
no, I think that's just age. You know, the legs get drier and get harder. Like they just
Yeah.
do with age.
But I mean, like, even to 2020, which I know like isn't the best comparison because like at prejudging, he was like there like 16 hours before or something crazy like that. It just the shape just wasn't the same. Like it just looked like a slightly different person.
No, I
And
don't
not like in the way like physiques typically change for better or worse.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Do you mean when he flew in late, right?
Right, right. And he was
Yeah.
there like not even 24 hours before.
Prejudging was nowhere near as good as his finals look.
For
That's
sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. He was just a flat version, which means he just didn't pop, you know?
hmm But okay. Overall, I think Bonac is really underrated. Do you think he's a top
Agreed.
10 physique? I still agree that he's probably a top 10 physique. Well, if he's not beating Hadi, I think that maybe they put him out to like 12, honestly.
But like a 12th best physique of all time is pretty crazy. And I don't
Because
think
no one
people
talks about
think of
Bonac in that
like
regard. You know,
Yeah,
no
no
one
one
talks
does.
about him.
He how many Arnolds did Bonac win? 1? 2?
For
Two.
the Arnold, Ohio, I thought it was
3.
3.
I'm just trying to nail down which years and I can't think exactly. So
2018,
20.
2020, and 20. No, I about said 2022. So maybe it was just 2. Yeah, I think you're right. Just 2.
He could have won like 4 though, you know, potentially.
I mean, he should have won 2022.
Yeah, I
And he
agree.
could have won 2019, but that was just a good solid match between him and Brandon, almost at their best ever. For Bonac, it was very close. Brandon, it probably was his like peak version. So very close, and that Brandon barely beat Bonac. So honestly, is Brandon a top 20 physique of all time? I hate to do it, but I hate to do it. But I mean, is
I
he?
think so.
I think
think
so.
so.
And look,
Yeah.
this just goes to okay. Let me ask you this question. I wanted you to. This was one of the things I had in my mind. Do you think Derek from the 2025 Arnold Classic beats either of these guys, or both, or neither?
I think he falls narrowly behind. At least he falls behind Hardy.
Okay.
Does he fall behind Bonac? I think he might. I don't know.
I would hope so. I would hope so. Like, I don't want to put Derek in the top 10. I don't want to do it. I don't, because look, our whole lives, like everyone, Flex Wheeler's a top 10 physique of all time. Sean Ray's a top 10 physique of all time. He could beat guys today. Like, how many times do you see under Gilco videos of current guys today? They'd say they get smoked by 90s guys. How many times have you seen that? Countless, right?
Yeah.
Like today's guys couldn't hang in the 90s. If there's anything that has been proven in this series so far, it's just that is not true at all. It is just not true. You people need to take the nostalgia goggles off. And I do sometimes too. Xavier, I will concede to you that Hadi Choopan is slightly better than William Bonac and will end up placing higher on said list.
Power to the people.
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I still stand by my decision that I would probably vote for Bonac if on a panel. But like, if I had to make a decision all confined into my mind, I would probably have to go with Hadi. More objective choice, but man, Bonac could get it. Let me tell you.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I'm more of a Bonac glazer than a Hardy glazer. But if we're talking my opinion on who would win this matchup, I think still Hardy.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to say Bonac, because like Bonac just is, yeah.
I will say,
such a fan of him.
I do like the scores before we updated to my. The other thing is, I triple check that. I do like our scores before we updated my scores. Like I like a nice 53 for Hadi or 54, whatever it was, rounded up. I think 59 is a bit heavy-handed because even my score was 59 Bonac to 40 Hadi, and I was like, oh, that's a bit heavy-handed. But now it's flipped. It's flipped 59 Hadi to like 40-ish for Bonac. So I'm like, okay. Well, I think that's a bit heavy-handed. Overall, I still really like Bonac. I will glaze. But, these two physiques are, like, just good on the outskirts of top 10, if not just a little bit on the inside. Just, like, it's like, in a way, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying these guys are, like, have a better legacy. But they're just like Dexter Jackson's, like, for the purposes of our list. I think they both beat Dexter Jackson, actually.
Yeah, it's so interesting where to put a guy like Dexter.
Yeah, like if it was for overall legacy, Todd said this, a big fan of the channel said there's an argument for putting Dexter as like the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Competed in four decades, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and competed in 2020. So that's 4 decades. And just was like the most consistent athlete of all time. And I don't think it'll ever be surpassed. Who else competes for almost 40 years and shows up like from best version to last, still top 10 in the Olympia?
You know when people say no one will ever be as good as Ronnie again and all that sort of stuff? I'm like, I think it's more likely that no one will go as long and have the career that Dexter Jackson had again.
For sure.
Rather than saying like, oh, there'll never be a Ronnie again. Because you can just get one freak. Like, just say Big Ramy got insane condition, like from early in his career.
Right.
That's another Ronnie. You know what I mean? Just
agreed. Yeah.
Like Nexzilla was super dedicated and had. Imagine if Nexzilla had a great. Imagine if he had an amazing structure, like really wide shoulders on Nexzilla, and a really tiny waist. It's like, then you've got a Ronnie Coleman or something, if he's really dedicated to it.
Right.
So it can happen. You just got to find that guy that has the genetics that isn't like unmotivated because he gets it so easy. Like he thinks he's shit the whole way along, so he just keeps building, and then he's like, oh wow, I'm Mr. Olympia.
So yeah, but we don't know where these two guys will stand. I was like, what is that sound? And then I looked, and it's my retarded guest.
I had to wipe my nose.
Okay. Well, anyway, we don't know where these two physiques will end up on the list. I think one of them is probably on the top 10 because they're both going to be like right next to each other. With how close they were, I don't think that many people will be getting in between them. Let's just say 60, that. Besides,
I love that 67-33 split,
Well, I mean, besides us, who's going to be getting in between these two fellas? But,
exactly.
But yeah, I think wherever they do place, Hadi will come out ahead, but both will be very close to each other. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. Xavier, you have anything to plug? All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate.
I've been on the news lately.
Oh, you have been on the news? Well, to be fair, I don't know why you did that thing.
Dylan likes to joke that I was involved because he thinks it's funny, which is not funny in my situation.
I'm joking about an ongoing legal case and an entirely different continent.
Yeah, it's great.
That doesn't affect me at all, but I can certainly botch for everyone involved.
You do like to send me messages. I'm like, is my phone being tapped?
Xavier, I do apologize for the fallout I caused between you and Paul Dillette. I didn't mean, I didn't know your business dealings were private. I do apologize, and I have apologized off camera. So I just wanted to make this public that I am sorry that I kind of like. He doesn't want to be involved with you anymore.
I'm not in any business deals. Never have been in any business deals with Paul Dillette. But Dylan likes to asperse.
You guys used to run shows and do some other things on the side under the guise of those shows in Australia. But anyway, that's enough for me. Make sure you go to. Are you still with IFBB AMA over?
I am ifbbama.org. Check it out.
Yep. They do post clips on their social media as well.
Yes, you can check that out. And then it has the links to full episodes there too.
That's my recommendation. You can see these little teaser clips, little tease, and then find the full video on ifbbama.org. But if you want real bodybuilding content, make sure to check out this channel. Like this video for more content just like this one. Subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next video.